Hello, 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 and welcome back to an all new episode here on the Survivor podcast. As always, my name is Darius Cook, and today I am joined by Survivor Orlando alumni Sam Mitchell. Sam, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. Living my best life, Darius.
Alrighty. It's easy to be in that positive glow. We're in Survivor 50 finally. For anyone who doesn't know, I met Sam on Survivor Orlando. There will be no spoilers here, but that season will be coming out soon. And that's where you can see me and Sam battling it out on Survivor Orlando. So stay tuned for that to come. But Sam, before we dive into this episode, the name of the game today is episode 3 of Survivor 50. I want to know, how are you feeling about Survivor 50 overall? We're 3 episodes in. What are you feeling right now?
I've said it before, I'll say it again. This is the best show on TV. I don't know why people are like I hate it when I'm watching Survivor tonight. They're like, oh, it's still on. I'm like, A, I hate you. B, it's the best show on TV. If you want comedy, it's there. If you want drama, it's there. If you want strategy, it's there. It's literally everything. And this is a top tier season. Like I'm 3 episodes in. It could go downhill from here and I'll be fine. Like it's hit everything that I wanted to do already, and I'm okay with it. So I don't watch a lot of Survivor Live. I usually am the next day type of guy,
Hmm.
but I've rewritten my schedule because I'm like I'm watching this live. So I love it.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I think, I'm not alone in leading up to the season. There was a lot of questions on who they picked for the cast. We have all these crazy Billie Eilish, Mr. Beast coming in and everything. But within minutes of being into the first episode, they got me back. All of my fears have been answered. I think that this is a great cast. It's not the cast I would have necessarily picked, but I think
Mm-mm.
that it's a great and fun cast. And I agree with you. What we've gotten so far is already plenty of great Survivor content to fill out a whole season. So
Yeah.
moving forward, I think we're in store for a great one.
And I'm a guy, I watched the first probably 6 seasons, then went to college and picked it back up at um Gabon. And so I've been watching it live since season 17, I think. And so I've really stuck through the dark days and the 40s. And now like watching this, I hate it when Jeff is like this is celebration, but I'm like it kind of is. Like I'm like reliving the past 20 years. I love it. I love it. I can't I think about it all the time and I love it. So,
Yeah, well, before we dive just into specifically episode 3, I do have questions for you about the season so far and some of the
oof.
twists and advantages that we've gotten. The big one I want to talk about, my favorite twist and advantage this season, is the Billie Eilish boomerang idol. What do you think about this new mechanic to the game and how it's manifested so far?
I like it. That stuff does not like the twist, all that stuff, it does not bother me one bit. The thing that bothers me is the people in Survivor Facebook don't know who Billie Eilish is. That is the most annoying thing about this whole thing. But I think it's a cool mechanic. I'm surprised they haven't tried to gamify it as much yet. It seems like they're sending it to their allies more so, or people who think they can be their allies, and instead of people who I thought were going to get voted out immediately so they could get an idol. Because right now it's an idol, but they can't use it for anyone, and they can only use it for the like it's very limited. And so I
Mhm.
figured these people would try to figure out who's on bottom and get it immediately back, where it's a full-blown idol at that point.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm surprised that like so they didn't send it to Savannah or Jenna or somebody, but
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
interesting. We haven't seen all the permutations that it can take place in yet, right? But so far, when Genevieve got it, she sent it to Ozzy, and the reason that she cited was, she's seen Ozzy go home with an idol in his pocket before. So,
Yeah,
Genevieve is preying on Ozzy's downfall. Meanwhile, Christian takes the opposite approach, right? He is hoping to plant a seed of connection with Aubrey and that they can use it for an alliance moving forward.
yeah,
I hope that this idol sticks around for future seasons because I feel like we're just scratching the surface on different ways to think about it and different ways that you could potentially use it. I feel like it's not
yeah,
just black and white, these two options. I feel like there's even more that we could potentially see.
yeah. And I'm just surprised by it. But look, I'm just a guy in Jacksonville, right? These people know what they're doing. So,
Well, we'll see. We'll see. And it does lead to some interesting shenanigans with my favorite duo this season, Christian Hubicki and Rick Devens. They're setting up these shenanigans with a fake idol at Tribal Council. That closes out the second episode. What did you think of that whole sequence, and what do you think of their potential plan?
Okay, it's very complex, but let's break it down a little bit. I friended Christian Hubicki and Rick before their seasons aired. Like I found like a, like one of on some Reddit board or something. I found a list and I go through and friend them all, and they were two people that they friended me back. So I felt like I was like a legit friend with
Okay.
them for a little bit.
Whoa.
But but that being said, Rick has since blocked me. So I don't know. I don't know what I did. But
Oh, man.
I never messaged him. I know it was didn't do anything weird. I just, wanted the inside scoop. Anyways, I loved Rick when he season first aired, and then I got tired of Rick. I felt like I don't know. I felt like it was Tony 2.0 where he was just trying to be Rick, right? And so I was very fearful when he came on here that it was just going to be idols and like very dramatic play for the juries and just stuff that I don't really love. All that to be said, I loved it. I loved it. And Christian can do no wrong in my eyes in general. I think he's a perfect Survivor player. And so the two of them loving each other in that play, I'm interested to see how it plays out because it's clearly going to play out. They wouldn't have shown it if they did it. And so
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm very interested. It's very, Survivor Australia or Survivor South Africa play. And I'm
Mhm.
excited to see how that works. I don't know. Like I think Rick said also my conversation comprehension or is not great. So I immediately forget things that people say. But I'm pretty sure Rick said he wants to use it to either like have like a fake protection, like at a tribal council, or give it to somebody else. So I'm interested to see which route they go. If they're trying to make somebody look like a fool, or if they're just trying to bluff it. I'd rather bluff because I don't think making somebody look dumb is ever the play. So,
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. First of all, I love their dynamic so much. I'm calling them the Dev Benke Enterprise since they are
hmm
a Star Trek bond.
Yeah.
But seeing them take off and soar has been beautiful. I mean, that's going to go down as one of the top 10 Survivor moments is Christian faking the fall while Rick Devens is fighting hiding the idol. I thought that was
hmm
absolute gold cinema, I dare say. And then going into the next episode, they're celebrating their little ruse that they pulled off. And
Yeah.
even better, the cherry on top is that this is all threat lowering Christian's threat level, right?
Oh,
He
yes.
now he's the dunce who's falling over at tribal council. Meanwhile, they don't know what he's doing under their nose. And what I especially like is this conversation between him and Devins. They want to rope in Sari, they want to rope in Emily, and Christian has the mind to say, "Hey, let's just say this was you found this idol, right? Let's say you were in control of this. They're going to believe it better." And he's just further lowering his threat level. So, same thing like you just said. I think that Christian can do no harm between his shenanigans, finding the idol, pooping his pants. He is perfect television. I love Christian Ubicki. He's the highlight of season 50 so far.
Yeah, I do wonder though, when Christian threw out that plan for Rick to take credit for it, I think that's going to come back and backfire on him, and I'm not sure exactly how, but either Rick's going to run with it and look, I don't know, like I didn't love that idea, but I like the I like the idea that he's trying to lower his threat level, but
Uh,
I'm like sometimes you got to own it though. I don't know, it's just that like don't lower it too much where you're giving somebody else points,
right.
And so I
It's
was like, I don't
I,
like
I've,
that.
I've thought about this, and I actually do think I think that this is the kind of thing that Christian could always walk back later. I think if he makes it to a final three, he can say, I'm the one who found it. I made this plan. I just put it on Christian, or I put it on Devin, so that way no one would look at me. And I think that's a long-term potential outcome. But when we zoom back into this episode, episode three, Emily's already blowing up his spot, right? Like Emily's
Yeah.
already spilling the beans. So I don't think that the plan is going to work out perfectly. And if it blows up in their face, whose face is it going to blow up in? I think Rick Devens. I think Christian might get out clean here by contingency plan of making it look like it was Devin's idea.
Yeah, it's interesting. I got a bad feeling about it. Like it just didn't sit right. I was like, oh no. Also, for a second there, I was I'm not the biggest Emily Flippin fan, but I was like, I will come after you, Emily, if you dare turn on Christian. I will find you. And so I
He was
was
pretty quick to spill the beans to Ozzy and Q of all people, right? Like you
yeah,
think
I'm like, what are we
go to a
doing,
secure
Emily?
alliance, but no, Ozzy and Q.
Like I didn't understand why Emily came back, and I still don't really know why they wanted her back, but she's exciting. But I was like, that is a terrible play, Emily. Like you're smarter than that. You don't immediately tell everyone, then it's useless. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting because she seems scorned because, right before they tribe swap, Christian is whispering in her ear right in front of everyone, hey, Aubrey has this idol. And,
Yeah.
from Christian's perspective, he's trying to let Emily know, hey, I got your back. Here's some information. Let's work together. But from Emily's perspective, she's like, why would he tell me that right now? He must
I
not be
know.
trying to work with me. So she takes it completely the wrong way. And immediately, like day one, hour two, being on this new tribe, is telling people about it. And when she told Christian, when she had to like fess up that she spilled the beans, he was heartbroken. Did you see the shock on his face that she possibly did that?
But you know what he did? He didn't get mad. He was like, "It's okay." Like A, clearly that man's married. B, like he understands like just like owning it, accepting it, and moving on is probably the best. Like act like it's no big deal is the best way to gain trust back. So
Yeah, you're right. He handled it well. And I think, this version of Christian, Christian 2.0, if you will, it shows that he's a father, right? This family
mhm.
man version of himself has so much patience. Think about the moment where he's rocking Joe and whispering in his ear for that vote. And you're right, he has a very patient response to this. I think that this fatherly version of Christian is probably going to be a more effective version than his, first appearance back on David versus Goliath.
I I agree 100%. Him rocking Joe is a top tier moment, and him looking through the hammock. I mean, I don't know what they're doing with him, but they're it's gold right now. Like he can, like I
Oh,
said, he can do no wrong. He pooped his pants, and everyone's loving it. Like what?
yeah. No, I think only Christian Ubicki could poop his pants on national television and me come out liking him even more from it somehow.
Yeah.
Well,
If
speak,
if Coach or somebody else did it, they would just he would be a laughing stock. But we're laughing with Christian at this one.
that's true. If Coach did it, he would fight for it not to be on air. Like it would be a
Yeah.
whole thing. Well, speaking of the tribe swap, that's where we get this messy moment between Emily and Christian. This is also where we get a potentially hype moment, where Jeff is busting down some freestyle raps on the tribe. What did you think of this freestyle from Jeff?
I don't know. I don't know why he's trying it. I was like, am I missing something here? What is happening here? I think it's funny. I don't I'm like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? I don't. If I was there watching it, I would die of secondhand embarrassment. But
Yeah,
whatever. I just don't
yeah.
get the point. But whatever, whatever.
It's one of those things. Jeff is not coming out of that any more cool, right? Like I don't think Jeff has earned any more like street cred points, but it's so ridiculous that it circles around to just being joyful and funny that it's
Yeah.
happening. Yeah, I was shocked when I saw this. Jeff dropped a rock and roll song before the season started, and now he's got a rap. I think Jeff might be prepping himself to drop an album here.
What if we get a Jeff Probst or a Dragons album? That'd be fun. I would buy it. I'm a sucker.
Hey, I think it's in the cards. I think it's in the cards. We got the tribe swap. We saw everything with Emily, Christian, and the messiness that's happening over there. But I want to dive back into that later because I want to look at the new Sela tribe because there's a dynamic between Rizzo and Charlie on this tribe. What did you think about how everything played out between Rizzo and Charlie in this episode?
Uh, I, yo, Dark Charlie is the funniest thing I have ever thought of. He was like happy, and then he just turned so fast. He was like, and he can't stand, or he can't be within a foot of the final vote. I was like, oh my gosh, like Charlie clearly has some issues that he needs to work on, but like, I, I don't. I don't think it's a good move for Charlie. I think Charlie, you need to keep Rizgod in there because no one's gonna give Rizgod the 50th win. And so I get why Charlie's burned, and I get it, but at the same time, if you played a better game, I think Rizzo will vote for you. So I think that's all you have to. show at that moment is that you played a better game than whoever you're sitting next to. So I love the character of Dark Charlie. I think he's leaning too hard on hurt feelings from the past.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I think you said it perfectly. I wasn't framing him this way in my mind, but Dark Charlie is the perfect way to describe the version of him we're getting this season. Even before the season started, all his promo like pictures, we got this like
Yeah.
mean, brooding version of him, right? And it's weird because that's not the Charlie that we saw. Like I was huge on Charlie's gameplay during his season. That's not the version of him that we saw. And you're right. I think he's so scorned from Maria.
Hmm.
His feelings are so hurt that he's got blinders on right now. Something I took an extra step in one of my TikToks talking about this dynamic, and I think that Charlie is also threatened by Rizzo, right? They're the only two guys
Yes.
who are in this similar age range. You know, Kyle's gone, Q's gone. I think that Rizzo has the most to threaten Charlie, just like demographic wise. He's silly. I think people are finding him funny, and so I think he's feeling threatened by him in more than one way. But then when he, thinks of Maria in terms of Rizzo not voting for Soph as number one during 49, he's triggered all accord now. So I think that I agree. Dark Charlie is not going to be effective, but I think that it's going to be driving his decisions moving forward, unfortunately.
It gave me versions of Steven on Game Changers, not Game Changers, on Second Chances, when
Ah,
all he wanted was Joe out, and I'm like, he
mhm.
was barking up the wrong tree the whole time. And that's
Yeah.
how I feel about Charlie. I'm like, you need to. Rizzo's no threat, and you shouldn't worry about Rizzo. If you're worried about jury votes now, I mean, you're playing the wrong game. You can lose the game in the first half. You can't win it. So
Mm.
you gotta let that go.
Yeah. Oh, beautifully said. Oh, that I like that. That was poetry right there. And I think anytime a Survivor player is solely fixated on one person that they don't want to let get to the end, they're probably not doing themselves any favors, right? You're already going up a downhill slope, to use a tribal council metaphor. Anything else on Rizzo and Charlie?
No, but also it's interesting. I say no and then have a comment. Yes, Charlie is taking everything Rizzo says for true, which is an interesting thought because Rizzo's clearly lying. I mean, he was trying to create distance from Savannah in
Mhm.
my mind. And so it's just interesting that Charlie was believing everything he was said. And so I was like, oh, I thought Charlie was more in tune to like being a game bot than he really is. And so it was just an interesting little thought.
Yeah, it is interesting, and it's another reason why it's so weird to have these players on from 49 when no one else has seen their season. Is,
Yeah.
us at home, we know the truth, right? I don't think anyone would blame Rizzo for not voting for Soph after seeing season
Yeah.
49, right? Like that was Savannah's game to win, and he was equally loyal to both of them, right? Like
Yeah.
there's no one would shame him for that. But Charlie doesn't have that context. And so Charlie and everyone else is left to make all these assumptions. Whether or not Rizzo and Savannah were honest coming into this game, I feel like they really just have an uphill battle because they have to deliver their version of truth, but also deal
Yeah.
with everyone's assumptions. It's really kind of like a lose-lose situation.
Right. But it's yeah. I'm just disappointed in Charlie fell for that. But it's also I'm here for evil Charlie. I'm Dark Charlie is I don't love Charlie as a character, but I love Dark Charlie as a character. I think it's funny when the nice guy goes bad. So I'm here for it.
All right. So after the tribe swap, there's another dynamic that I want to pick your brain about because I thought this was interesting. We see Coach going up to Chrissy to try to coach her into having a better social dynamic on her tribe. Could you imagine being in Chrissy's shoes and Coach is telling you, hey, we need to manage how you're coming off to some of these people socially?
No, but I loved Coach coaching. I said that in a text. I was like, Coach coaching is sending me. I love it. We've never seen him actually coach, which
No,
is
it's true. Survivor 54 seasons in for Coach, and he's finally living up to his namesake. It's true.
I'm also a little mad that he hasn't given out the assistant coach title yet to anyone. I'm a little frustrated about that. But I thought Christy would be a lot better, to be
Mhm.
honest. I wanted her back. I always thought she deserved a second chance, and she is just kind of blowing it. I don't get it. So, but it's also someone told me in real life the other day that I didn't know how to read the room, and I always thought that was like a strength of mine. And so I was like, huh, maybe I can't read the room as well as I thought, and I think that's what's happening to Chrissy right now is that she got some feedback that she wasn't expecting, and then she's like, "Oh, oh no, oh no." So, but I'm a little disappointed in Chrissy, but
Yeah,
whatever.
it does read that way a little bit, right? It reads like
Yeah,
she maybe thought that she was doing an excellent job socially, and then to hear this from coach of all people is like the biggest rug pull that you could possibly have. And I agree,
yeah,
she was one of the more interesting castings for this season in terms of when her season was in the overall lineup, the kind of game that she's used to. She's kind of like a crossbreed between a new era and an old era kind of player. So I was also
yeah,
excited to see her, but so far she's been a little bit of a dud this season, I gotta say.
yeah.
We get in a yeah, go ahead.
And I wonder if that's because there's so many characters. I
Hmm.
mean, like, is Chrissy really going to outshine Christian or Q or Rizgod or Colby? Like, there's so many other characters that they're going to focus on. And so I kind of get it, but at the same time, she's offered nothing. She's been a nothing burger so far.
A nothing burger. Oh, we do get this emotional moment after, coach was coaching her and she, opens up about her breast cancer journey,
Yeah.
seeing that definitely endeared me to her struggles a little bit. But as far as strategy goes, she hasn't given me anything to really root for in this game.
Yeah, but she also hasn't gone to um she hasn't gone to
Travel?
travel. Yeah, sorry. I have Wikipedia up just in front of me just to keep track of everything. And I
Uh,
just noticed that she's from the villages and that made me think of a lot of things. So I was like,
oh
oh, maybe
wow.
I
Okay.
didn't know she was from the villages.
That seems like a lot of context all of a sudden.
Yeah. Just threw my thinking off for there for a little bit.
Hmm.
But yeah. But yeah, she's just done that whole tribe has done nothing for me, but I'm here for it.
We do see a sequence where everyone on Ceri's new Sela tribe is really fangirling over Ceri just as a Survivor legend. And we see a few people have confessionals, including Dee, about being torn between being so caught up and amazed by the mystique that is Ceri and her magic, but knowing that it's exactly that that's going to bite them in the butt.
You want to hear my hot take on this?
Oh,
No,
yes, give it to me.
this is hot off the press. I'm not a D
Okay.
fan. I don't get like people
Ah,
say she's like the best player in the new era. I'm like, I, I don't know. Like I guess, but I don't think she knows. I don't think she's done her research because she said that her friend was telling her about Suri, and I was like, if I'm describing Suri and I know Suri, I'm not referencing my friend. Like I'm telling you what it is, and so I'm like, she doesn't know who Suri is, and I'm
that's a
like,
pretty interesting point. I didn't think about that, but you might have just saw through her that she might not be as well read up on Survivor seasons.
and I knew she. I don't think she was a fan before, and I bet she's. I doubt she's watched after. I bet she was, but I think she's charming. I think she's probably like good, has some strategic wit about her. But I'm like, I don't think you know who you're dealing with. Similar, I was listening to the preseason interviews with Colby, and I was not a Colby fan when I first announced it, but I've he's got me. But he was like, I've watched a lot of the seasons, and I was excited to hear that. But he didn't watch David versus Goliath, and I'm like,
And
that's like the season to watch if you're going to watch something in the newish era. And so he didn't know Christian or Mike White or Angelina, and I'm like, how do you not know those three? And so it's
it's
just
insane.
interesting that these people do their studying, but I don't know what they're doing because they're not watching the right stuff. So
Obviously, hindsight is 2020, but in the case of Colby in particular, he really biffed it by not seeing that season. I mean,
yeah,
Colby is the of any Survivor is known most for, getting acting work outside of the series. Did he
yeah.
think that studying up on David versus Goliath might be good for working with Mike White in the future? I've seen
Yeah.
Colby on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Colby seems like the perfect person to pull into a White Lotus season, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that he didn't study up on that one. And it probably will hurt him later on. I mean, he doesn't know anything about three of the biggest voices out of the season.
I will say, I thought about that a lot. And then I realized I think studying can only do so much. You just have to go in the game and feel it out. Without saying spoilers, when I went into Orlando, I was so nervous. I was like, I didn't know what to do. And I finally reached out to like a former contestant that I didn't know. And she was the only one that responded. She was like, just play or play. Well, like, just have fun. And I was like, you know what? You're right. Just go in there. And that turned out to be the best advice that you can only do so much studying, but once you don't have food and once you have to use the bathroom outside and you're not sleeping, like all that kind of goes to the wayside and you have to figure out whatever the current situation is. But that being said, I don't think Dean knows Suri. Suri's gonna get her, and I can't wait.
So moving over a little bit, Sam, we get into the immunity challenge, and this is one of the challenges that I would dread having to do on Survivor. So excuse me, when I play Survivor in the future, this is not a challenge that I would look forward to doing. The blindfold challenge where people are having to navigate an obstacle course and then they have someone on the platform calling it out. What do you think about this challenge overall?
I used to love it, but I don't like the hurting. I don't like people getting hurt. But I think it's a funny challenge if it was safe for I sound such like an old person, but like I don't know. I don't love it. I think it's an interesting concept, but I don't love it. You want to know my hot take? I have a hot takes left and right. They could see,
Let's hear
right?
it.
They can see through those blindfolds.
Hmm.
Go rewatch it. Like Rizzo perfectly places it on a hook. And like
Uh-huh.
I think there was some shenanigans. I don't think they could see well, but they can definitely know. Like Rizzo found the little ring on the ground. He like went right to it. Like I didn't trust it. I didn't
And
trust it.
Rizzo is famously not very good at challenges. So if he's able to
Yeah,
find, there's got to be something up here. Is that what we're saying?
100%. So,
No, I did have
and
that thought a couple
they
times.
dominated the puzzle. They
Mm.
dominated that puzzle. And so I was like, "Oh, something's up. Something's up." I'm not saying it's like a I just think somebody's blindfold wasn't on great. That's all I'm saying. I don't think there's a big conspiracy around it. I think it's just
So
one
if
of
you
those
were in this
things.
challenge, would you be blindfolded or would you be the caller?
Oh, I'm blindfold, blindfold.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not taking blame for anything.
That's fair. That's fair. Being blindfolded sounds so stressful for me. There's only two challenges in Survivor that I do not want to do. I don't want to be blindfolded, and I don't want to do the last gasp one where you're like, getting
Yeah.
up out of the water. I don't want to do
Here,
those.
here's my thought though, Darius. Would you risk going home, being voted off because you didn't want to be blindfolded?
Hmm. Fair enough.
Is that worth $1 million to you?
Certainly not. Certainly
Yeah,
not.
me
It's not
either.
worth $1 million.
Put a blindfold on and I'll take one to the dome or to the shin.
And I
Like
guess you're
pain
right.
is
No one's
temporary.
blaming the guy who was blindfolded, right? Like it's a harder position to be in. If you fumble it and do a terrible job, you can't get blamed for being blinded and not executing tasks properly, right?
No, like name one person who did a task blindfolded from that last challenge. Can you?
Not really.
Yeah, okay. So you just blend right in. Isn't that the goal of Survivor to blend in the middle?
That's a
So
fair point. So maybe I should be attracted to the challenges that scare me most.
probably. Also, Camilla is not doing herself any favors.
Hmm.
She is dominating every puzzle.
Mm.
She's gonna get herself voted off here in a second. Like if I was
Yeah.
on that tribe, I'd be like, yes, we're winning with her, but we're gonna lose to her in about 3 days. So
That's interesting. Camilla's gotten a quiet edit so far, but I agree. You can do pretty good on the puzzles, but make it closer if that's going to be what
yeah,
it is.
yeah,
And
yeah,
Camilla, I feel like is coming into the game with a pretty low threat level. People know that she could be sneaky, but I think that she should be doing everything in her power to continue to be quiet and go under the radar. She doesn't need
yeah,
to be an asset in the challenges. She is someone that can skate by for a while. You're right. She
yeah.
might be putting too much heat on herself
Like
by
if I'm
doing too well.
noticing you're winning every puzzle, I don't notice things, and if I'm noticing it, you're not doing. You got to quit that. If you're gonna be considered a nerd, don't win puzzles. Like
Yeah.
you gotta have a flaw.
That's fair. And that does circle back to one of the only things that I think is a weak point in Christian's game right now. I think he's playing a great game, but he doesn't hold back when there's a puzzle or a challenge and there's a way to gamify it. I feel like he's showing that off a little too much.
Yeah, I agree. But I do think him losing this helps. So
Yeah.
this,
So after the challenge, it's a mad dash scramble. We're back on the beach. We've got the David versus Goliath trio. Who could have expected them all to end up being together on a beach? We've got Q scrambling around. He doesn't have a vote. And then, of course, we've got Christian and Emily all in the mix. What did you think about how this all played out? We have Q talking to Mike. we've got a lot of different conversations playing out here. Did anything in particular jump out to you?
Yeah, I was confused why Q didn't talk about the extra vote. He knows Ozzy has an extra vote because he sold it to
You're
him,
right. You're right. He does know that.
and they don't talk about it.
Yeah,
I'm
that didn't
like,
come up at all, actually.
no, and I'm like we've got to. I mean, we know he doesn't have it, but Q doesn't know he doesn't have it,
Exactly.
and
Yeah,
I
you
would like
think
to
you
see
would be
that
trying
lie.
to rope it in.
Yeah, because if they had it, then they're at a 3-3 split.
Mm. Yeah, I'm surprised that hasn't come up at all in my point of view. I mean, really, no one brought we didn't even see it come up in a Q confessional or anything like that.
No.
I do think that Q had interesting ways of maneuvering around. I think ultimately him bluffing to Mike White was not a good choice, but I
Yeah.
thought overall that Q was playing a better game than I expected him to play in terms of social maneuvering. Obviously, it didn't pan out overall, but
Well, I don't I'm going to disagree. I love Q.
okay.
In season what was he? Season 46.
Yep, 46.
Also, I do not I can tell you probably every winner from 1 to 39, 1 to 40, 41 to 49. I am like, who won what? Um d don't get me started how it's all just one massive season.
It's ridiculous.
Uh but we never saw Q not go to tribal council in 46. I'm pretty sure they went to every tribal council, I think, right? I don't want to say, or
Okay, so the
everyone that,
Yanu tribe went all the way down to three people before the merge. So you might be right about that.
and so we never saw him not be like, this is the first time I've seen him. He didn't have to scramble for votes.
Mm.
And so I'm like, oh, he's playing a great game. So yeah, because he's not, there's no one to vote for. I mean, like,
That's true. Q has this
I,
reputation of being chaotic, but what else happens when you go to tribal every single day you're out on the beach, right?
and if you don't have to go to tribal, you don't have to be chaotic. You can just be charming. Because
Hmm.
I do think charming and chaotic kind of run like very hand in hand. You can
Hmm.
easily go, you can teeter one to another. But so I think he was playing an okay game. I think it was smart to get in with stable people, but um, I don't. I think he needed to dump Stephanie so fast. I think he
Hmm.
should have saw the writing on the wall and
That
dumped
was his
Stephanie.
only path forward in this episode, right? And he
Yeah,
doesn't really lean into that. Instead, he tries to bluff out Mike White, which I think if he went to Mike White and actually told him the truth and humbled
yeah,
himself, I think even though Mike White was, he was looking at Q before that conversation, I think that Mike would have loved that, right? You humble yourself. He wants to do something dastardly, right? He doesn't want to
yeah,
kick the person while they're down. He wants to do a big Q telling him he has an extra vote just made Mike want to go for him even more, in my opinion.
yeah.
So he kind of sealed
And
his fate.
I agree. And if someone comes to me and starts telling me all these secrets and I don't know them at a la Emily, like my red flags go way up on A, can I trust that person? And B, why are they telling me this? Right? I wish I don't know, maybe he was so desperate that he immediately clung on, but I'm like, why are you trusting this random person you don't know? I mean, maybe they had a pregame alliance. I don't know, but it just didn't make sense for me of why you trusted Emily and put all your eggs in that basket right away. So
Emily had the craziest edit this episode. Emily
she
was
was Q. Like, I don't know why she's not getting a Q. Like, people are like, oh, she's playing a good game. I'm like, she did exactly what Q did.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, she's the chaotic one. I coming out of this episode, I think that Emily deserves the moniker that Q has gotten all this time.
Yeah.
She spilling the beans with her number one alliance. She is telling gossip to Angelina, and then in a second later in a confessional says, "I don't have any allegiance to Angelina. Who cares?" Like
Yeah.
spilling and,
And
tea and pouring gasoline on fires without any clear plan. I actually think it worked for her this episode. I think she comes out in a better position than she started, but I see no rhyme or reason.
I think she's smart. I don't think she's good at these games, is
Mm.
my, because I see her on like, do you watch like Clock Tower with
Yeah.
them? And like,
Hmm.
she does the same stuff on there. She is just a chaotic player. And like, and I think she gets away with it because her face and her persona aren't that.
Mm.
Like, she's a very normal looking person, but she does like crazy things all the time. And I'm like, what are you thinking? Like, even episode 1 when she wanted to vote off Ozzy, I'm like, what? what good does that do for you? And so it just didn't make, I just don't like the way she thinks or plays these
Yeah,
games.
but so far I think that like she's managing her relationships well. But I agree. She looks at a vote gets presented to her and she shakes it up and says, "But what if this?" And it's
Yeah,
just like it's only chaos. There's never like a real
but
like strategy or plan behind it.
is she managing her relationships well? Because I think now Christian has to be thinking twice, and then Rick's gonna think twice. Like all the people that Cerie's not gonna trust her after once she
Mm.
hears what happened. And so I don't think one little mess up like that can mess up relationships. Like one little tact and like one little fault in the armor can like break it apart. And I think that's what's gonna happen to her.
So I did feel like she walked away from her Christian conversation with Christian still being willing to work with her. But I agree.
Willing but
The second
trusting
that
is different.
fair. Yeah, fair. The
Yeah.
second he tells Devins or Sari about this, I agree. There's no way that they're going to be okay with it. She was probably already fourth banana on whatever this four-person alliance is anyways. So
Yeah.
I agree. Especially Sari is not going to have it. There's no way.
The only thing that's gonna save her, in my opinion, is her pre-existing relationship with Christian. I think that's gonna help her out tremendously, but I don't know. You can't be telling people's biggest secret. You can't. You
No.
just can't.
Yeah. There's no
Unless
way.
you want to take them out.
It's true. I mean, yeah. Uh, a little bit of other juicy bits during this episode is, the rivalry between Aubrey and Genevieve is still alive and strong. But what we do see this episode is Tiffany actually snitching on Genevieve and going to Aubrey with some information. I didn't expect Tiffany and Aubrey to potentially work together, but I
Yeah.
think they could have some, positive stake moving forward.
Yeah, I don't understand the snitching so much. Like, who who was it? Somebody made a great analogy. It's like, or maybe it was Q. He's like, when you come to my house and you bring a dish, like you're all welcome. And like that makes sense that like if you're gonna come to the table, bring something with you. And so I get that, but at the same time, I don't know, snitching, I just don't think that's good idea unless it's an overall plan. I do think I've thought about this for years. If I could go into this show and make one very visible enemy and make it seem like I'm only focused on that person while doing other things, then that lowers your threat level. If you can get one person to absolutely and openly hate you, then I think your threat is actually so high that it's not high anymore. You know what I mean?
Mm. Hmm.
And so but I don't think she's doing that in this scenario at all. I just don't like, I don't think the snitching is good. I don't think snitching is good.
Yeah, I
Putting
mean, I
the
don't
three
see
people
very
together,
much what it does for Tiffany, but Aubrey is somewhat of a safe person to snitch on. Doesn't seem
but
like she's gonna, or snitch to. It doesn't seem like she's gonna go and spread that necessarily. I don't think that this will circle back to Tiffany in terms of getting her into trouble.
no. And I do think if you're going to snitch, snitch to whoever's on top. Don't
Hmm,
snitch to another lower level player.
it's a good point.
Snitch to the leader. Don't snitch to the, like, I don't know. What tribe is that? Is that Kalo? Yeah. So I don't even know who's kind of running Kalo right now, which is also an interesting.
Who
Is
else
it
is
the
on that
boy?
tribe? I don't have my
I think
notes for
it's the
that.
boys. I think it's Colby, Coach, and
Oh yeah,
Joe. So
Colby,
it's like,
Coach Joe, Chrissy, Tiffany, Aubrey, and Genevieve.
yeah, I guess if you're gonna snitch on Aubrey, you go to one of the boys.
Hmm.
I don't know if there's a clear leader of that clear group of four on that tribe. So maybe I don't know, but I don't think you snitch to if you're gonna snitch, snitch to the right person. That's
Hmm. Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see if that ends up panning out for Tiffany or not. Tiffany is in this group of people that are getting such a quiet edit that it's hard to imagine them going far in the game. But, edit aside, I feel like she has so much more win equity than a lot of people. So it's hard to say what we're going to see out of Tiffany. But with only like a handful of confessionals so far into the season, I don't see much for her game.
Yeah, I try not to like metagame that a little much. I just
Mm.
in my mind I'm like there's 24 players and a lot of characters, so there's gonna be some purple edits, unfortunately. But it's
Yeah.
also like Survivor Australia does like 24 people a lot. And there'll be people that don't have confessionals for episodes, and all of a sudden they're a major player like 3 episodes later, and you're like, well, who is this person? And
Yeah.
so I do think there is some of that aspect to it
Yeah,
as
to be
well.
fair, Genevieve's first season, we didn't know who she was for episodes deep, and then she comes out being one of the bigger players and the only one to represent the season on 50.
Yeah,
So maybe I
don't
do
get
need
me.
to throw that out.
Yeah, don't get me started. But I also don't think Tiffany's been to Tribal yet either. So it's nothing like I don't think she has much story. So
Yeah,
that's the
that's
bad thing
fair.
about winning is that you don't get screen time, right? You don't, no one knows your situation.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Q does his best Grinch impression. He tries to cancel Christmas for the David versus Goliath trio. But we can go ahead and make our plans, pencil in your Christmas plans moving forward, because Q unfortunately is the one who goes home. Were you excited to see Q go home? Did you want to see more game out of Q? How do you feel about that boot?
I don't want to see more game out of Q, but I want to see more confessionals out of Q. So I am sad. I wish he was a third place finalist, no vote finalist, but I get it. I also realized about after week one, episode one, I was like, oh my gosh, every week is going to be terrible unless some of the people I don't care about go home, but there's only like two or three that I really don't care about. And so I'm like, oh, this is going to be a brutal season. So every season I've kind of, or every week I'm like, all right,
Oh
just don't
yeah,
vote out my
that's definitely going to
favorites.
be an interesting aspect to the season because it's been that way so far. No matter who goes home, my heart's going to break a little bit, right? Like
Yes.
that's the beauty and the tough part of being on Survivor 50. And so far, 3 episodes in, only single tribal councils. I know
I,
everyone and their mother was predicting triple boots, double boots, especially in the first early episodes, but they've taken the opposite approach. At some point, the shoe's going to drop, and we're going to have multiple heartbreaks in one ep.
I was thinking about this and doing some timing. Would they? I know they tossed around. This is a crazy thought. This is left field I'm coming from.
Okay.
There, yeah, Ghost Island was original. Have you heard the original idea for Ghost Island?
Remind me.
It's crazy. There was going to be 3 tribes of 10, right? And on the first episode, they were going to eliminate an entire tribe. And it was going to be 10 returning players that immediately just got cut.
Okay. I
I'm like,
don't think I
well,
knew this, by the way,
it's
at all.
something, maybe it's not the exact details, but it's something to that extent. They were definitely tossed around that idea. Would they do that here? Would they just get rid of a tribe? I mean, like,
So,
the
so how
numbers
would this
aren't,
work? Would it be whoever doesn't win, like between the challenge? Like, is that what
I
we're
think,
thinking here?
I don't know, but I'm like, how, just from a numbers perspective, how are they going to start doing this? Because
Hmm.
how many? There's 21 people left? No, 20 people left.
There's 20 people left,
And they have
and
to, so
we're
they have
we're
to get
three
out
episodes
seven,
in.
they have to get out 17 people.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
I, I actually want to get a spreadsheet out and like actually math it out because like how many double tribal councils do we need in an episode to make it to the end at this point? I mean,
So
a
wait, how
season
many
is
episodes are
15
left?
episodes,
Are
right?
there 13 episodes
I thought
usually?
there was 15.
Oh, maybe there's 15.
15 might be the classic seasons when they used to have like the recap episodes. That might be what I'm thinking.
Yeah, hold on. I'm looking
Yeah,
this
let's
up
get to
now.
the bottom of this.
This is the podcast people want here, math. It has 13 episodes.
Okay, okay. So we have 10 episodes and 17 people to get rid of. Is that correct? That's
Yes.
crazy. So that would be like 4 of the episodes being double boots. Actually, you need more than that. You need
I think every
one triple
episode will
boot
have to
and
be,
three double boots.
yeah.
I don't know if I did that right, but yeah, that's insane. That's insane. So how is the middle chunk of these episodes just going to be a lot of double boots? That doesn't seem that engaging.
So there's 9 episodes left, 9 episodes, and 17 people have to go. So that means on average, 2 people are going to go an episode.
It's
So
insane. And I guess the finale already does that, right? Like the finales are like the final five. So you do
yeah,
get like a double, but still.
yeah. I think they're going to have to start doing. Yeah, I don't know. But that just thought of me. Will they get rid of an entire tribe? Which would be, if they did that, which would be insane, but also I would kind of love it just for the chaos.
That would be sickening. That would be
Uh,
sickening.
it would be sickening that people don't get voted off. I
Mm.
hate it when people don't get voted off. But I don't know. I just don't know. The math ain't mathin'.
So
But I had a good thought, but I forgot what it was. But I don't know.
well, as we close here, I have a few other topics to run through for you. And if there's anything else that comes to mind on Survivor 50, please hop in here. What do you think about Exile Island? We had it in episode one. We're two episodes later. Are we using Exile Island or not? Was that just a one-time thing? Do you want to see them use Exile Island more in the future of the season?
No, I'm good. I'm
You're
good.
good on
No
it?
journeys, no exile. I don't mind Exile Island. I do think it gets old real fast, and so I'm glad they're kind of. I like the randomness of it. I like that you just don't know. If we're going to lean hard into random and advantage, let's lean hard into it because I think once you do something, you can start. I don't like it when people become game bots. I like
Mhm.
real reactions, and so I like that they're not being able to predict anything. So I like it. I like the randomness of it all.
I predict we'll get another Exile Island twist near the merge, perhaps.
Yeah.
Or maybe during one of these double boot episodes. I think that it's worth revisiting. Seeing Q and Ozzy on it was a fun twist. The reveal of that was like, oh, what a crazy twist. However, we didn't spend much time with them on the island.
Mm-mm.
Obviously, it didn't lead to any advantage that moved forward in the game now that Q's gone. But I wanted to see more of them talking on the island, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
I if we're gonna do it, let's actually do it. And I want to see a plot line that takes place of these two people being stranded overnight.
Yeah. I will say also, I don't care about 29 or 26 versus 39 days. I do care that they don't have to build a shelter and just live in the sand. I don't like how the 40 players just don't care about that stuff. Maybe it's just because I'm an old school fan, but I'm like, I wish it was a little harder on them. I wish there maybe not in Fiji. Maybe it would if it were to rain more, they would think about that stuff. And so that's the only critique I have about how the format of the game is right now.
Yeah, it's one of the charming pieces of Survivor, right? It's
Yes.
seeing how well they can make the shelter and like being
Yeah.
a longtime viewer, I always think, oh, well, I would have done this, I would have done that. Oh, I could have made a better shelter. It is one of the fun aspects, but I will say a 26-day game, Rizzo, was being criticized for not, helping out with the shelter more. But Rizzo probably understands, hey, we're swapping soon. Why am I
Yeah.
going to put my elbow grease into this when I probably won't be at this camp anyways? I see why people don't put as much energy into it, but I agree that I miss the charm of it. I miss that
Yeah.
aspect.
I liked it when Colby got mad at him. I liked it. And I was like, this is hilarious. This is what, but yeah, because that stuff bothers me in real life. So I'm like, maybe I just relate to Colby more. I'm like, that would drive me crazy too. So,
Oh yeah, as much as I am defending Rizzo's point of view, I know I'd be right there with Q being like, man, these people don't do anything. They just sit around. Like that is I already am like that in my home. Like
yeah,
so
I
I'm sure
agree
I would have been right there
100%.
with Q.
100%.
All right, Sam. I think that's going to pretty much bring this conversation to a close. Is there anything else Survivor 50 related that's on your heart that you just need to get out there?
Yes. I don't get, I don't get why people like Genevieve. I don't get it. Here, I'm
You're
gonna
not
go
in on
through
the
my,
Mother Vive train?
no, not at all. Not at all. Here are my hot takes. I'll just go through the list of who I did not care about this season.
Okay, let's do it.
Kyle did not care. Like, I think it was sad and he won me over, but I did not care going into it.
Okay.
Aubrey, do not care. I've seen her story play out. Do not care. Charlie did not care. I was on the fence about Rick. Colby did not care. But now I'm like, if Colby wins, I'll be happy. I will be thoroughly happy if Colby wins.
I'm right with you on Colby, by the way. I mean, he couldn't have fully switched my point of view on him more. I
Yeah,
didn't even want to see him come back at all. Like I thought it was an airball of a choice. But right now, I really hope he makes it to the final three, actually.
me too. I didn't care that Sari came back. Look, I know
Mm.
that's look, I've just seen her so much on this. It's not the Sari that I used to love. Now it's the Sari, the reality TV legend, right? It's just a
Mhm, mhm.
different, she's good and she's charming and she's fun to watch, but I just did not care. However, when they thought about voting her off, I was like, this season will suck without her. And so
Yeah. No,
there is
it's so
this
similar, right? So similar. Like
dichotomy.
she's not the girl who got off the couch anymore, right? She's
No,
coming in with a completely different reputation. That being said, the thought of her leaving, it triggered that same feeling in me. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, Sari goes home first, and the rest of the season's a snooze fest. Now she
Yeah.
hasn't even
I was
done
like,
that much since then, but the concept of
yeah.
losing Sari is a little scary.
Emily Flippin did not care. Did not care. Joe did not care. Camilla do not care. Stephanie LaGrossa do not care. When I saw her on the Traders, and look, we don't even, politics aside, when I saw her on the Traders, she was a dead dud on that. And so I was like, what are we lame? Genevieve D did not care. Jonathan Young did not care.
Okay, so how many people is on your do not care list here? Because that
I
sounded
didn't
like
realize there
12 out of
I didn't realize there were
24.
that many people. It's a lot of I just think they got the 40s wrong. I just think they brought the wrong 40s back. That's
Yeah,
all.
because I was gonna say this was heavily new era. Who was there anyone on this list? Is there any new era people that are on your happy to see them come back list? I guess
Um,
Savannah and Rizzo. You didn't
so
mention
I
them.
was fine with Savannah and Rizzo. They were entertaining.
Yeah.
That's a hot take. Tiffany was fine,
She's the most
and
neutral one, right? She has a
and
lot of
Q.
potential to do something big, but she
Yeah,
hasn't necessarily done anything that like warrants her return.
yeah. Savannah and Q. I was happy, or Q. I was very happy. But like Carolyn, like Jeff needs to get over the Traders thing. Carolyn was great. Like Dee
Yeah.
has been on MTV for so long. Like I don't know why they couldn't bring Carolyn back. Jesse, I don't know why they didn't bring back. Like what are we doing? Who else?
I wanted to
Uh,
see Andy. I wanted to see Andy come back. Is that crazy?
yes, I do not like Baby Andy. I do not
He's
like
so
him.
polarizing to everyone.
Yeah, I do not like. But so I was just even Soul. I would like.
Okay.
I just think they got the 40s wrong. It just makes me so mad.
I agree with your point, and I'm struggling to think of who else I want from the 40s right now, but Saul is not one I would have wanted to see. I
Really
thought Saul was kind of a dud personally.
interesting. But I don't know why they're not bringing back Jesse. I
Jesse and
thought he,
Carolyn are one and two of absolute snubs from the new
yeah.
era for 50. 100%.
Even Carla, I'm surprised they didn't bring back.
Sure. Sure.
Like,
Carla, I would have seen Jam Jam as a returning winner. I would have
yeah.
seen,
I was excited about James Jam
yeah.
until I saw him on Traders, and I'm like, I hate that
Yep.
guy.
Yep. As Traders ruined Jam Jam for me. It's
Yeah.
actually crazy. I was so high on Jam Jam off of his season, one of my favorite winners. What a fun confessionalist. And now he
Yeah.
just seems like a big baby who cries all the time.
I want to watch that. Also, does this break? Sorry, I've got a lot of thoughts. Rizzo coming back. Rizzo and what's her face? Savannah. They've kind of broken the back-to-back season people doing well. Because back-to-back season peoples have traditionally done well. Malcolm,
Mhm.
Russell Hantz, Zeke, and Michaela, but not this. They're not doing too hot now.
No, they're not. And I have to assume that's reactionary to what we've seen in the past, right? We saw multiple
Yeah.
people make the Rizzo to Russell Hantz comparison. Just, obviously Rizzo's no Russell Hantz, but,
Yeah.
being this big personality that they don't know anything about, it seems like Rizzo might be able to actually make it far. Like right now, I'm not getting the vibe that he's necessarily on the chopping block. But I agree, that precedent no longer exists. Moving forward, back-to-back returnees, I think will be in a better, more even-keeled position because there's not this expectation that they'll do well or poorly.
Yeah. So, but I like it. I had a lot of hype for 50. This wasn't the cast I thought I was gonna get, but it's the cast I needed. It's like it's the Dark Knight. I'm like, okay, I'm very happy with this cast. And so, but just going into it, I was like, oh, this is gonna be game changers all over again. Like I thought it was gonna be a bust. And so I'm my friends, I have several friends that this is their first season that they're watching. So a lot of people are texting me of like what is happening. I'm like, I just want you to know you are watching Avengers Endgame without watching
Mhm.
anything before. Like you have
That's true.
no idea. And then one person had the audacity to say, "Yeah, I think I'm a super fan." I was like, "No, no, no. Just no, no, no. Just because you know what's happening does not make you super fan." I hate that everyone uses the term super fan now, but I'm like, I, yeah, I put a lot of years into this. You can't just take that title. You can't take that title from me. Just because you watched every episode in the last 2 years doesn't mean you can. Just because you binged it doesn't mean you're a fan. And so, um, it's been funny to watch a lot of these people like catch on, and they're like, "The show's pretty good." I'm like, "Yeah." we've been shouting it from the rooftops for years, and no one's listened to us. And now it's very good. I think 90 minutes has helped it tremendously. The
So
90
you're
minute
pro 90
episodes.
minute. You're pro that change.
Oh, 10,000%. Because I don't think we get Christian pooping his pants in an hour. I don't think we get um, a lot of this, just like the fun stuff in an hour.
Hmm.
Also, one guy I'm watching it with on a Wednesday night, his wife is a huge fan, so it's like me and her that are really watching it, and he just happens to be there. He had never knew who Coach was. And so every episode, he was like, "Who is this guy?" And I'm like, "That is Coach. Like, this is the reason why we love Coach because he's 100% honest and 100% wild. And like, you don't know where he's going. This is why I love this show because it's just unpredictable human nature of Coach doing his Coach Chi on a daily basis."
Yeah, and I was a little worried that Coach had maybe matured or grown up or gotten some perspective on himself, but it doesn't take more than 5 minutes for classic Coach to come out, and I love it. I love it. It's exactly what I wanted out of Coach this season.
Yeah.
He's such a joy, and honestly, he's still my winner pick. Okay, I'll stand 10 toes down on it. I think Coach wins Survivor 50.
I was about to say, if Coach wins, I am thrilled. I am thrilled. I think he got robbed on South Pacific. I'll stand
Yeah,
by that.
fair.
Like, did he do some very debatably ethical things on South Pacific? Yes, very much so. Did he deserve to win it? As also yes. And so that's where it's like, there's all the people. How about this? All the people that I didn't list who I was excited of to come. If I wasn't excited for you, I wanted you to win. So that's where like there is no in between for me.
Okay, okay.
So
You're in or out. You're in or out on
yeah,
these
if
people.
if any of the old school people win, I am thrilled. I think that's why Game Changers was so bad because none of the old school players had a chance.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
And
and
I,
it feels like we're gonna lean old school. I really have that feeling. At this point, I feel like the new era people are going to be a bigger target. So we'll
yeah,
see, we'll see. And I gotta say, the biggest points of entertainment this season so far, it's Coach, Ozzy, and Christian. Those three
yes,
people are making the season. I hope they go deep until the end because as long as they're on my screens, I'm having a good time. I will say Ozzy's another person where I was a little bit like, okay, cool, Ozzy's back, but I wasn't big on it, you know.
yeah,
But this is
100%.
my favorite Ozzy season so far. He's actually so fun.
Have you seen somebody was like, Ozzy's reminding me of someone, and they put up Shambo? I'm like, oh my gosh, that is, he
No, I
has,
have not seen that.
him and Shambo have the exact same haircut right now. It
Oh
is
man,
like
that's
with the
too good.
bandana, it's unbelievable. I'm like, that's all I can see now is Shambo. So,
Oh man. I'm not gonna unsee that, that's for sure. Shambozi, I don't know.
yes, I like Shambazi. I like that.
All right, we're running out of time here, Sam. Who was
I'm
your
sorry.
winner pick? Who
Oh,
stand 10 toes down? I want to hear it.
hold on. The clarifying question. Who do I think's gonna win? Who do I want to win? Very different answers.
Okay, I want both. I want both. And I'll give you the same. You know, who do I want to win? Christian. Crazy. Who do I think is going to win? I still think it's Coach. I This is not a passion pick. That's a brain pick. Deal with it.
Why do you think Coach is gonna win?
Okay. Well, I think coming into
Is
the
there
season,
metagaming to it?
no, well, there's a little bit, but I will say I've been consistent on my TikTok weeks before the season came out. Coach has been my pick just because I think if Coach manages to make it to the final three, I think it's going to be hard not to give him the $1 million. Now, if he's next to Sari or someone else with a big story or like Ozzy, I could see then it being contentious. But if Coach is sitting there next to two new era people, I think Coach gets the $1 million just for the plot alone, right? And then, so how hard is it going to be for his path to get there? I don't think it's that hard. I don't think that many people, maybe Sans and Ozzy right now, is actually going to be looking at Coach as a major threat for the jury. I just don't think he's a jury threat. And at the
Yeah,
same time, I think he's an automatic win at the jury.
that's fair. I think it's gonna be one of these purple edit people, to be honest. So,
Really?
yeah, I just think middle of the road always wins. So I'm
That's fair. That's
thinking
fair.
Genevieve. I don't want her to win.
The one you
I'll be
hate, you're going for
fine.
Genevieve, huh?
I'll be fine. How I think, but who I want to win? Christian. If if anyone votes that man off, I am coming for them. I am sold on the Christian edit. So,
Yeah, Christian, he's the heart of the season so far, right?
yeah.
I don't even think that's like, I don't think that's a hot take to say. I think he's the most endearing player. He's been very active. Obviously, he's been to tribals and whatnot, so we've gotten just a lot of him. But he's just
Yeah.
so easy to root for, isn't he?
I do. I love it. I've been a Christian stan since David versus Goliath. And so I think for a long time, I'd always say he was my favorite player. And now people are jumping on. I'm like, all right, you can get on this bandwagon only because I love Christian so much. But I thought he was great from 36. And I think he's going to be, if he wins, oh my gosh, he's going on the Survivor Mount Rushmore. You heard it here.
Oh yeah, I think already what we've seen is putting him into the greater pantheon of Survivor legends already.
100%. And he's a
Yeah.
fellow Floridian. Like, how do we get mad about that?
Yep, exactly, exactly. He we don't have we have a handful, but we don't have enough Florida representatives, in my opinion. And Christian is doing us proud right now.
We don't have enough good ones.
That's fair. That's fair.
Those are my takes. Those are all my takes.
All right. Well, you heard it here. We'll see if Sam's takes are correct or if he's wrong. We'll see how it all plays out this season. Sam, thank you so much for joining me here on the Survivor podcast. Do you have anything socials related that you want to plug for my massive audience back home? Wow.
I'm a shameless plug. I own a small little business here in Jacksonville. I know it trivia. I try to put out some good content that's just not where my shows are. I try to be funny on there. Also, Survivor Orlando. Watch it when it gets released. We want the audience to grow so we can get bigger and better shows out there.
Yep, that's right. Survivor Orlando will both be on it. So as long as you subscribe to this channel, I promise you will see that when that all comes out. My
Can we
TikTok and
break
other
down?
socials will be at the bottom. What
Sorry,
is
yeah,
that?
you can redo that if you want. Can we break down those episodes?
Yes. Oh, dude, I was going to talk to you about that after. So, yeah, this will be a little sneak peek. I do plan on podcasting Survivor Orlando. Okay. I want to do exit interviews. I want to do podcasts. I want to talk about it. I'm desperate to. Okay. I stay up at night every night thinking about, you know what? I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. If you want to hear all of our takes on Survivor Orlando, you know where to follow. Trust me, I'll be advertising it when those episodes are coming out.
Great. I'm listening. I'm already subscribed.
All right, beautiful. Thank you again, Sam. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like and follow, and I'll see you for the next episode.